Saya nak tunggu lagi berapa minit eh? Darren boleh tercakap tak?
Okay, sebentar. Boleh ke dengar saya?
Darren cakap dengan Kak Ras tu?
Siapa boleh dengar ke saya?
Okay. Dengar.
Oh, dengar.
Okay.
Clear ke Kak Ras?
Sorry?
Clear ke?
Clear. Should we wait for the rest of our friends to come in? How minutes more? How minutes more? Darren,
Ya saya Kak.
how minutes more? Now wait
How-
for other friends to come in.
Saya okey je Kak. Bila-bila pun boleh.
COVID-19. So all the best to you. Sekejap ni. So guys, can we start now? Can we start our high PG Med section? Okay, thank you for the response. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. And good afternoon to Darren. So for this time of High PG Mates, we will have Darren to talk about COVID-19 and its vaccination. So before that, I would like to thanks to all the attendants, to our friends who are willing to attend for this time around. Uh, I we do hope that this time of session, and I believe that Darren will give his best shot for this time, giving us a lot of information, a lot of information, but good information, something which we never heard before about COVID-19, of course. So without further ado, let's welcome Darren on the stage.
uh, boleh dengar ke?
Silakan, Darren.
Can you all hear me?
Boleh.
Okay, nice. Thank you Kak Ras for those kind words. Banyak pressure atas saya okay, jap, let me just share my screen. Tu tu tu. Oh, okay. Can you all see my screen?
Can.
Yay, thank you. Okay, a very good afternoon to everyone present. Thank you, Kak Ras, again for your introduction earlier and for being the moderator. So in this high PG Mate session, I will be talking about COVID-19 and its vaccination and what we know and don't know. I know that what is this? COVID-19 has been a talk of the town recently. Yes, so yeah, COVID-19 has been the talk of the town, not really recently, but as of lately, since 2020 actually, and every day you hear about people, the word COVID-19, COVID-19, COVID-19. Probably you will be bored of it. But nevertheless, I am here to share a few things that I find a bit interesting. But without further ado, I shall begin at the moment. I also do find, before I begin actually talking about COVID-19, I do find that high PG Mate is more of a getting to know your fellow postgraduate colleagues. And I do believe that a lot of you would not know me. Or even if you do, you would have seen me and you would have thought, siapa Mamat ni? Asyik ulang alik masuk bilik PG, dan keluar. Oh, kalau dia masuk bilik PG, dia duduk je dekat meja dia buat kerja dia tak bercakap. Ah, kenapa tu Kak Ras? Okey ke? Kak Ras?
Sorry. Bukan Kak Ras dah off video ke? You all nampak ke Kak Ras?
Oh tak, saya nampak tangan Kak Ras angkat tangan tu. Saya ingat Kak Ras ada soalan.
Oh, no lah.
Okay, tak apa. Just to inquire lah. Yeah, so maybe a lot of you would think that yalah, I'm a very very quiet person kan in bilik PG and all those I keep to myself. But true enough, I'm not actually like that. I'm actually a very very loud person. Uh, which you may find annoying. So beware. So for the first part, let's get to know Darren Shakir. Haha. So about me, your fellow postgraduate mate. Uh, my full name is Darren Shakil Sasikaran. And yes, you can see that's a picture of me there. I assume that is myself when I was 1 year old or less than a year old. So yes, I'm exposing myself a bit. Uh, I was born on what is this? Uh, yes, I was born on the 13th of May, 1997. That would make me 25 years old this year. Ooh. I was born in Subang Jaya Medical Center, located in Selangor. And can I ask the audience, do you know what is being said about Subang Jaya people? Do you have any clue what is the famous phrase for Subang Jaya people? Uh, Kak Ras mute, Kak Ras.
I know there is a song, Budak Subang Jaya Pandai apa tu? Is that the one? Is
Oh,
that the one?
yes, yes, very close, Kak Ras. Yes, yes. So a very, very wise man by the name of Joe Flizzo, I believe. He said,
Correct.
Budak Subang Jaya memang ada gaya. And to
Are you
prove
one of them?
this, yes, I'm very much one of them. So to introduce, I am the one in red in the coveralls. So definitely proving that people from Subang Jaya memang ada gaya, ya. Uh, okay. So I currently reside in a small town in Selangor called Rawang, Selangor. And to be more specific, I reside in a small town called Bandar Sungai Buaya that's located in Rawang. To follow up, uh, I attended my whole schooling time in Bandar Sungai Buaya. I attended Sekolah Kebangsaan Bandar Sungai Buaya as well as Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Bandar Sungai Buaya. You may be wondering who are these lovely people that I've attached here. Well, these are all my school friends. Some of them I have known since I was in primary school, some of them in secondary school. I am unsure if you can see, but the guy in batik, who's a bit bald, uh, the one that's standing approximately behind me in black, he has been a childhood friend of mine since I believe in primary school, and he's also my neighbor lah. Uh, I then proceeded after my SPM. After I finished secondary school, I attended TMC College, which is a small college, to do my foundation in science. So these people that you see here consist of my foundation classmates as well as a few lecturers. The lecturers being the lady on the left hand side, the handsome guy on the right hand side, and third from the left. Fun fact actually, I didn't do so well in my SPM. This is based on my own standard lah. I scored two A's, five B's, and two C's in my SPM. I know. Oh, uh, what is that? My two C's being biology and history, sejarah. Both reading subjects, both what do you call that? Memorizing subjects. I don't like those. Uh, Boleh dengar ke saya?
Boleh, boleh.
Okay. Okay. So another fun fact that even though like my results was like that, I attended an interview with UTP, University Technology Petronas. A bit of a brag here. I actually passed. I got offered to do foundations in petroleum engineering as well as a bachelor's degree in petroleum engineering, full scholarship. Yes, I turned it down. Uh, I turned it down because engineering was not my forte. What is that? Yes, I wasn't into engineering, so I had to turn down the opportunity to study in UTP. Right decision, wrong decision, I don't know. I'm here because I chose not to go lah. Uh, so by turning down, what do you call that, UTP, I enrolled myself into that foundation course, and I later on furthered studies in Segi University, Kota Damansara, where I undertook a bachelor's degree in biomedical science. So on the picture here is mainly my classmates, except for the two guys on the left hand side, and the dude, the guy on the right hand side, the one in blue. These were staffs from FRIM, Forest Research something Malaysia. So I did an we did a short internship at FRIM to learn about genomics and such. And I graduated my bachelor's degree in May of 2021, last year. After that, on August 2021, I made the decision after staying in Selangor all my life to move to Kelantan, specifically Kubang Krian, to pursue my postgraduate degree. Yay! So yes, that's me in front of the foyer of PPSK, School of Health Science. And yes, I've been here for 11 months right now. Officially registered as a student since April 2022. And yes, stressful very much, but it's a very, very fun journey because a lot of Kelantanese people here, they're very, very nice. Food is cheap. Fellow postgraduate students are very, very nice and kind as well. So yes, I am here enjoying my time. So yes, that is about me. Very brief. Nothing much actually interesting in my life. I think next we will go on to the topic of today, which is COVID-19. So yes, uh, towards the okay, so going into COVID-19, as many of you may or may not know, towards the end of the year 2019, there were several health facilities in Wuhan, that Wuhan is located in the Hubei provinces of China. And these health facilities started reporting on pneumonia cases. However, there was no known cause towards these pneumonia cases. It was then later known that the causative agent for these pneumonia cases was a novel virus. A novel virus that was given the name 2019 novel coronaviruses, bracket 2019 nCoV, and later on was changed to SARS-CoV-2. Basically, SARS-CoV-2 is from its previous name, coronavirus. It belongs to the family of coronaviruses. Yes, it belongs to the family of coronaviruses. And within this coronaviruses, there are hundreds and hundreds of different viruses in this family. They are typically located in animals. However, if transmitted to humans, they can cause mild to severe upper respiratory tract infections. Out of so since there are hundreds and hundreds of coronaviruses, they can be subdivided into four, which are your alpha, your beta, your gamma, and your delta. So SARS-CoV-2, which subgroupings do they belong? Does anybody know? Does SARS-CoV-2 belong in the alpha group, beta coronaviruses, gamma coronaviruses, or delta coronaviruses? Anybody? You can take a guess. It's 1 in 4 chance that you'll get it correct. No, nobody? O- Okay. Okay. So, yes, SARS-CoV-2. It belongs to the what do you call it? The beta subgrouping of your coronaviruses. Two as of 2019, third quarter of 2019, actually, there have been six coronaviruses that have been known to what do you call it? To have infect humans. Two of them belong to the alpha subgrouping of coronaviruses, and four of them belong to the beta coronaviruses. Out of these four beta coronaviruses, unfortunately, two of them have been known to cause pandemics before SARS-CoV-2. What do you call it? Oh yes, would anybody like to guess what those two corona beta subgrouping coronaviruses are that caused pandemics? Anybody?
Hello, Darren.
Yeah, yeah.
It's MERS and
Anybody?
SARS-1.
So we have a now we have a winner here. Yes, yes. You are correct. They are your SARS-CoV, which caused a pandemic in 2002, and MERS-CoV, which caused a pandemic in 2012. So SARS-CoV was originated in China and spread across continents, whereas your MERS-CoV originated in 2012 and it was discovered in Saudi Arabia and it spread across 25 countries. So SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19, it wasn't the first coronavirus to cause a pandemic. It is actually the third one. Uh, oops. Okay. So as of yesterday, yes. In terms of the number of cases, there have been 542 million confirmed cases worldwide. And in Malaysia, there have been 4.5 million 4.5 million confirmed cases of COVID-19. As in terms of its death toll, unfortunately, worldwide, it has been reported that 6.3 million lives have been taken due to COVID-19. And out of that 6.3 million, unfortunately, Malaysia had 35,000 deaths due to COVID-19. Sad, but we learn from our mistakes. And we are very well prepared. When I say that we are very well prepared in the terms that there have been a lot of efforts to control the pandemic and the surge transmission of the virus in the terms of lockdowns, strict SOPs, and whatsoever, until a very amazing discovery happened, which is the emergence of your COVID-19 vaccines. So, in your market at the moment, and when I say market, I mean worldwide, there are currently various and many types of COVID-19 vaccines. These eight that I'm showing to you on the screen, these are the COVID-19 vaccines that have been approved for use and administration in Malaysia. So we have your Comirnaty COVID-19 vaccine by Pfizer Biotech. You have your CoronaVac by Sinovac, your Vaxzevria from Oxford and AstraZeneca, your Spikevax from Moderna, Convidencia from CanSino, at 26.cov2.s by Janssen or Johnson and Johnson, your Covaxin by Bharat Biotech, and Covilo from Sinopharm. I would be focusing on the main three vaccines that have been administered in Malaysia, which are your Comirnaty, your CoronaVac, and your Vaxzevria. So, moving on to first, we will touch on the Comirnaty COVID-19 vaccine. So, the technology used to create or produce your Comirnaty vaccine by Pfizer and biotech is called the genetic vaccine. So basically, this technology uses a segment of the SARS-CoV-2 virus genetic material. In this case, it can either be DNA or RNA, but in this case, they use, I believe, it's RNA. So what it does is, with this genetic material of SARS-CoV-2 virus, our cells, when it detects this particular material, it would then make the SARS-CoV-2 proteins. So these proteins will then be recognized by our immune system, and it will trigger a response. This response would then lead to building up of immune cells so that your body will be able to fight off the infection of SARS-CoV-2 when you get infected by them. So as I mentioned, that this type of technology for vaccine is currently being used by Pfizer and biotech in Malaysia, as well as in your Moderna vaccines. However, one of the limitations of this type of technology, this type of vaccine, is that it requires to be stored in a very, very low temperature environment. I believe it's negative 80, if I'm not mistaken. Next, we will move on to your Sinovac. Yes, your Sinovac vaccine, which is known as the CoronaVac. So for the CoronaVac vaccine, it uses inactivated materials. So what I mean by inactivated materials is that as for the Pfizer vaccine uses a genetic material, CoronaVac uses the whole virus, the SARS-CoV-2 virus. However, it has already been inactivated or killed in simple sense. So when you are administered this kind of vaccine that contains the whole virus, SARS-CoV-2 virus, your immune system will then recognize that this particular product or virus is, what do you call that, foreign to your body. Due to it detecting it to be foreign, it would then trigger your immune system. It will trigger your immune system to respond to it, to build up your immune, to build up antibodies lah, to basically fight off future infections towards SARS-CoV-2. So it's a very simple method actually compared to Pfizer and biotech's COVID-19 vaccine, whereas you're just using the whole kill version of the virus. One good thing about this type of vaccine is that it does not require to be stored in a very low temperature. I believe it only needs to be stored in 2 to 8 degrees, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, this type of technology for vaccine is also being used in your influenza vaccine also. We will next move on to the AstraZeneca brand vaccine, which is called Vaxzevria. Yes, so Vaxzevria uses the technology of viral vector vaccines, whereby uh, genetic materials, just like the Comirnaty vaccine, they use genetic material. However, this genetic material is encapsulated or contained in a virus that is harmless. And this harmless virus is known as your viral vector lah. And again, the same thing happens with your Comirnaty vaccine, your CoronaVac vaccine. Once your immune system detects that something foreign, in this case, this viral vector with genetic SARS-CoV-2 genetic material is present in your body, it will then trigger your, what do you call that? It will trigger your immune system to create a response. So this response again will help build immunity in the terms of antibodies and different cells to fight off future infections of SARS-CoV-2. Examples of other vaccines that uses this type of technology is your Ebola vaccine. And unfortunately, limitation of this vaccine is the same as your Comirnaty vaccine from Pfizer and Biotech, is that it requires very low temperatures. Next, we will move on to my project, basically. So my project aims to study cellular immune responses towards the SARS-CoV-2 virus following vaccination. Yes, my project would require blood samples to be taken in 8 time points, which are stated above here on your screens. The first time point would be before you receive any vaccination of COVID-19. The second time point will be 2 weeks after your first dose, or just before your second dose of, what do you call that? Bef- just before the second dose of your COVID-19 vaccination. The third time point being 2 weeks after the second dose vaccination. Fourth time point being 6 months after second dose vaccination, or just before your booster dose vaccination. In the case of Sinovac, which is 3 months. The fourth time point being 2 weeks after your booster dose vaccination, denoted as D3-2. Uh, Next is your 6 months, 12 months, and 18 months after booster dose vaccination. So my project, what you call this, looks to look at or investigate productions of activated T cells, memory T cells, and intracellular cytokines towards SARS-CoV-2 following vaccination against it. Yes. Okay. So the process of the project involves 2 steps. The first step being PBMC isolation and stimulation, and the second step being staining of these particular cells. It takes around 2 days for per donor. Yes, it's quite of a long time actually, and quite tiring actually. Yes. So we will go on to selecting our participants, our subjects, to participate in the project. Our participants, our subjects would need to be healthy adults and within the ages of 18 to 59 years old. That's it. You either have to be healthy and within that age gap. We will exclude you if you are younger than 18 years old or you are elder than 59 years old, as well as even if you fall within the inclusion criteria of the age. If you present with comorbidities or we find you not being healthy, you will be excluded from the experiment, the project lah. Moving on to after our candidates have been selected, our participants, we would set a date with our participants, our subject, to collect their blood. This is for the same process for all 8 time points, in which when our donors are to come, we will get qualified people to withdraw blood, and the amount of blood that we will withdraw is 30 milliliters into 30 milliliters of whole blood into your EDTA tubes. And following this, after we've withdrawn your blood, we will begin the process of isolating PBMCs from the blood. So I'm not sure if you're able to see my cursor or my mouse. But on the picture on the left in the tubes, the 50 ml tubes, you will be able to see a cloudy region above your red cells. So this cloudy region is your PBMCs. So once we've isolated your PBMCs, we will pipette out that particular section into another tube. And once we've washed it and all, we would follow it up with stimulating these cells, with SARS-CoV-2 activators. Once stimulation is done, we would then incubate these cells overnight in 37 degrees Celsius, 5% carbon dioxide, CO2. And this will be incubated for 16 to 18 hours. Next, after the first day is done, we would then follow up with the second part of the experiment, which is the staining section. Yes. So when we go into the staining sections, as I said, we have three sections that we will look into, which are activated T cells, memory T cells, as well as intracellular staining. So in the activated T cells, the markers that we will be using to look at is CD25, CD69, CD38, HLA-DR, CD134, and CD137. For memory T cells, we will be looking at CD45RO, CD45RA, CD95, CD197, and CD27. For intracellular staining, it's a bit little. It's only interferon gamma, tumor necrosis factor alpha, interleukin 2, and interleukin 4. The process of staining roughly takes around 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours, from start to end. And once that is done, once we've completed our staining, we would then acquire these samples through a flow cytometer. These are the potential panels of what we would be looking at. The top table is for memory T cells. The bottom one is for activated T cells. You may be wondering what kind of flow cytometer that I am using. The flow cytometer that I'm using is located in the molecular immunology lab in PPSK, and it is my baby boo, my darling, the Fact Celesta flow cytometer. Apologies. Okay. So yes, that is the flow cytometer that I use to for my experiment. I am currently also sitting next to the flow cytometer, which there it is. Okay. So yes, so once staining is done, data acquisition will be done on the same day as well. And from this, we would then try to look into memory T cells, activated T cells, and the intracellular cytokines. Data analysis for this have not been done yet and will be looking to be done as soon as possible to begin, sorry. I do hope to produce very, very good results to make USM proud, to make all my postgraduate colleagues proud, to make my supervisors proud and my family proud. With that, I actually end my presentation. What do you call this? Yes, so these were the references for the earlier parts of my study. I mean my presentation. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren.
Uh, I just want to say I'm a very noob
Now
in
I'm getting
this.
confused. Are you now
Hmm? Kak Ras okay?
Darren, Darren dengar tak?
Dengar.
Dengar. I just say that I'm getting confused whether you are actually doing your PhD or you are doing your master degree because I can see
Ma
that you have I
siapa
can
tu
see
Kak
that you
Ras?
have many standings to do. That is just one part of your study, but you have
Ah,
lots of things to screen on, isn't it?
yes, very much. But it is a master's project lah, master's project.
Mm. All right. Anyway, all the
Hmm.
best to you, Darren. So now
Thank
we
you.
open for any question
Uh,
from the floor.
so
Anyone?
before before that, Kak Ras, before that,
Yes.
I have quizzes to give out. Ha 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 ha. So anyone
Quiz.
will
All
be
right.
able. Just
Good,
a
good.
minute. Okay.
So for the
Yes. So I have a
so
few
Darren,
quizzes, and there are prizes to win. Uh,
good,
okay.
good.
So first question. Oops. Mana ni? Okay. Jeng. Can somebody name the location and the health infection that was reported by the several health institutions in China that led to the discovery of SARS-CoV-2? Would anybody like to answer? I promise you there are gifts to be won, prizes to win, sorry.
So anyone, you can just type in the text box, or you just unmute your microphone to directly communicate with Darren. Okay, I can see here that the answer from Zahida is pneumonia, and in Wuhan. Is that
Jeng,
correct?
jeng, we have a winner. Turr. Yes. So,
Congrats,
uh,
congrats.
congrats. So the answer is indeed Wuhan, China. Specifically, Wuhan is located in the Hubei provinces, and the infection is called pneumonia. Yay! Uh, Nanti Nasuha datang ya claim hadiah datang ke PGA. Not now, later on. Okay. Next question. Uh, how many subgroupings of coronaviruses are there? Will you be able to name them for me?
Atika Shahirat said 4.
Okay, partly correct. Will you be able to name them for me? Ni
Alpha,
yang penting.
beta, gamma, and delta.
Jeng. Another correct answer. So yes, correct. So there are 4 subgroupings of coronaviruses, and the subgroupings of which are alpha, beta, gamma, and delta. Uh,
How
okay.
many
Don't
questions
worry.
you have, Darren?
How many questions? Let me see.
Yes.
I have 6 in total. Sikit je.
Remember 6 prizes.
Tak apa. Dah. I come prepared. Okay. To the third question. What are the 3 beta group coronaviruses that have been known to cause a pandemic? What are the names of the 3 beta group coronaviruses that have been known to cause a pandemic in our world? Would
Wow.
anybody like to guess? Simple je. Anybody?
The answer from AR. AR said SARS, MERS, and another one. This one. Is it correct?
Partly correct. They've got two. So the answers are, I will still accept it as correct lah. I'm a very nice person to give it. So the answers are
Of course
SARS,
you
CoV,
are.
MERS-CoV, and SARS-CoV-2. Oh, no, supposed to be a dash between CoV and 2. So these are the three beta group coronaviruses that have been known to cause a pandemic. Okay, AR, AR, okay, no worries. Jot it down. I may not know who AR is, but I will forever remember.
Please claim your prize from Darren.
To be specific, you can come to PGA, table number 67. That is my table. I will specify it right here so I don't forget. The fourth question. Can anyone name me 4 different COVID-19 vaccines that are administered in Malaysia?
Anyone? Again, AR. Answer from AR.
Apa itu Kak Rasa?
I was not sure. Who is AR? Tak tahu. Maybe if I know her full name, then I know who is this. Who is she?
He or she. Siapa itu? I see
Okay,
Nisa
another attempt
Aduni.
from Lisa.
Nisa Aduni said Pfizer, Sinovac, AstraZeneca, and Sinopharm. I will accept these answers. Yes, yes, correct. Ding, ding, ding. Betul.
Thank you to
So
AR and
yes,
Wanurul for the attempt to answer the question also.
yes, very, very close. No worries. Uh, I shall see if you all will also get prizes for attempting. Let me check. I shall come back to you all later on. Okay. So basically, name the COVID-19 vaccines names. For Pfizer, for example, it's called Comirnaty. For Sinovac, it's called CoronaVac. So typically what we use are the brand of vaccine, not the names of the vaccine. No worries, you were still correct. At least you do know the brands that are being offered as COVID-19 vaccines in Malaysia. So ding ding ding, we have a correct answer again. Moving on to the fifth question. This is, I would say, a bit hard, but let's see. What is the type or technology of vaccine used by Oxford and AstraZeneca in their COVID-19 vaccine? Would anybody like to take a guess?
Mm,
Kak Ras, take a guess.
Is this the one that mimicking the virus itself so that the immune system body were able to recognize? Is this the one, not the
Yes.
RNA, or the
Yes, very, very close actually. Very, very close. So basically, the type of technology that is used by Oxford and AstraZeneca for their COVID-19 vaccine is your viral vector vaccine, in which, what you call it, uh, they will encapsulate or surround your SARS-CoV-2 genetic material in a harmless virus, and this virus will then be administered into human body to develop antibodies to trigger response and develop antibodies in there. Kak Ras pun dapat hadiah. Okay.
Thank you,
Uh,
Darren.
okay. So last question. Last question. Because I do believe I do have to go as well. A very, very important question. First person to answer this gets a very, very special prize. And the question is, can anybody tell me what is my full name?
This is very special question. And I think
Very,
it
very.
is harder than SPM's question.
Even I pun tak boleh nak jawab. I see a few answers in already. Uh, uh, let's give a round of applause to Azira and AR. Woo! Yes. My name is indeed Darren Shakil Sasikara. Tengok, budak Subang Jaya. Memang ada gaya. uh, yes, so I believe that that is it from my side. I do want to just give a few words in the terms of I would like to thank the Journal Club for
But we
allowing me to.
didn't get into Q&A session, right? Quick Q&A session yet. So you have to stay. You cannot leave the meeting yet, Darren. We're still not finished yet.
Okay, tak apa. I can stay for 5 minutes of Q&A. Boleh, boleh.
Right. So anyone among us here would like to ask question regarding on COVID or vaccination to Darren? But one thing that I know, I think this is something that interesting to share with you guys. After India has established their vaccine, the economy status of the India increased, has increased, and the increment is the how shall I say? They have never get that kind of progress of economy for like 4 years, and then after the developing of vaccine in the country, they able to accelerate their economy very fast compared to UK, compared to Europe, because of the vaccine of COVID. It seems like even though some of us maybe suffering from COVID, but there is something that we can gain from the COVID itself. Actually,
Hmm,
it's
that-
actually it's all up to you guys. It's all up to us on how we look at to the COVID. Of course, for us, at this COVID session, at the COVID season, most of us doing research for our study, so we have a very big problem to continue our research in the lab work. But of course, I think some of us actually have managed to like writing a few sets of manuscripts. Yes, this is a true story because of that period of time that we are not able to get into the lab work. So you have that kind of time to really focus on writing, because everywhere is locked down, isn't it, Darren? Are you one of them who able to do the writing? You are already settling 2 or 3 manuscripts within that lockdown.
Uh, can you hear me?
Are you one of them?
Ras, can you hear me? Boleh dengar ke?
Okay, dengar-dengar.
Okay. Uh, not. I wouldn't say I am because during the lockdown, basically, I was still how would I say? I was still in my undergrad study. Uh,
I see.
yes, so I was still in my undergrad study. So, but more important, I can understand because in the terms that I did my final year project in a lockdown. Uh, so I would say, partly yes, I am one of them, but not to the extent of two or three lah. Just one.
Darren,
Just
we
one.
have a question here from Wanuru. What COVID-19 will look like in a decade from now?
Oh, I kind of like this question. Kak Ras, can still hear me, right?
Sorry?
You can still hear me? Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, can hear
Oh,
you. But
okay.
slightly slower compared previous.
Uh, How about now?
Okay, better.
Okay. I kind of like this question because uh, of course, being with a novel disease or novel infection, we wouldn't know what's going to happen in the coming years and what so on. But I can't say this as a definitive. This is only based on my own opinion. Uh, but what I would feel COVID-19 will look like in a decade from now is that as more people get vaccinated, uh, this COVID-19 will be like another flu. In the terms that yes, you would have your flu vaccination. If in case some of you don't know that you do have influenza vaccinations, but it is all still manageable in the terms of we can only hope for medication to help with symptoms. We can only hope that our healthcare facilities as well will not be that trouble. But what I do hope or what I do feel will happen is that it won't be as severe as it is right now. As long as all of us can achieve herd immunity, potentially get everyone vaccinated for the time being, we can get everything under control. And my only hope is that it will become another type of flu, so-called lah, so-called.
Yes, it's true, Darren. Um, anyone? Any question?
I kind of feel embarrassed putting my picture on the slide at the moment. So I'm going to change to a nicer picture, which is ah. Ah,
Darren, can I ask between, based on your view, between all kind of vaccine, which one that would you will say that are more effective? Your personal
uh,
view.
personal view. I wouldn't say any vaccine is better than the other. I've said this countless of times towards my family, towards my friends and all. There is no one vaccine that is better than the other for the time being because you would have, for example, I've seen cases in the terms that uh, people be comparing the Pfizer vaccine that has a higher efficacy than Sinovac, for example. I think the percentages was like what 90 plus to 95% for Pfizer to 70-ish percent for Sinovac. But so far that I've seen people getting vaccinated with Pfizer as well.
they do develop side effects from those. Like I mean, the typical fever, sore arm, and so on. Whereas those getting administered with the Sinovac vaccine, they do not have any adverse side effects from the vaccine. The end goal, the function of a vaccine is to ensure that not that you won't get infected, but you don't suffer. You don't suffer severe symptoms, complications. Worst case, you don't forgive my language. You don't die from COVID lah. So for me, a personal opinion is that there is no one vaccine is better than the other whatsoever. Is that any vaccine that is available to you at the moment, be it any brand, any type, whatever vaccine that is closest to you, that is your best vaccine.
Oh, tu jawapan standard tu, Darren.
Macam ahli politik kan? But
Another
yes, so
question.
a recent review article for the survival time of COVID-19 on surfaces. Okay, so I would personally say, okay, when you talk about COVID-19 on surfaces, I believe you're talking about work, like basically any surfaces, be it your laptops or like tables or whatsoever, like basically any surfaces. Uh, I personally, this is a personal thing. I don't really like uh, what you call this, to know like for example, if papers are to say that COVID-19 lasts 10 hours on surfaces or 10 minutes, uh, I don't really fancy these kinds of statements. Is because that any surfaces are dirty. You can't really ensure that anything is clean. Even if you like wipe or sanitize a table, uh, in the matter of a few seconds or whatsoever, it will get contaminated again. So your best chance at the moment lah, is to practice self hygiene in the terms of frequently washing your hands with detergent, soap, basically. If you do not have soap available to you, make sure that you sanitize your hand, wipe down surfaces and whatsoever. Uh, just be extra careful lah. Just be extra careful because these are the things that you can't really see with your naked eye. So we will never know if it's there or not. But how long survival time of COVID-19 on surfaces, I apologize. I don't really pay attention to this because I try to ensure that it is any surfaces are clean before I touch it, or if I touch it, to wash my hands, to sanitize my hands and whatsoever. Like you can't be too safe. It's best to be safe than sorry lah, basically. Uh, I know I didn't really answer that question, but personal view je lah. I see another question by Wan Nurul. In my point of view, should we take another booster shot? Yeah. Straight answer, yes, very much.
So you will have an extra samples to run so that you can screen.
I don't mind staying in Kelantan longer. I like it here, so it's okay. Kalau if there is 15 time points, I will do it, no problem. If currently right now, I've been given the option to get another booster, by all means, I'm going to go and take it. I don't mind. I would rather, like I said, I'd rather be safe than sorry.
All right, Darren, I think that will be our last question for this time of session.
Okay, sure thing.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So thank you to Darren as our speaker for today. Thank you so
Kak,
much. A
Kak,
very interesting session.
Kak Ras,
I think
can
it's a
I
good
just say a
idea
few
to
things?
Sorry?
My apologies, Carlos. Can I say a few things?
All right. All right,
Okay,
sure, sure.
so sorry, so sorry. So firstly, thank you to the Journal Club PPSK for giving me this time to just share a bit. Also thank you, Kak Ras, for being our moderator. Thank you to all the participants available. Make sure to claim all your prizes that you've won. If I have anything extra, I will pass it around as well. I would also like to thank these two people in the pictures here, which is Prof. Noor Azmi and my main supervisor, which is Dr. Mariam Azlan. Uh, Basically, for just being very, very patient with me. uh, they're very, very nice people and very, very knowledgeable. And I'm very, very lucky to be here learning from them. Uh, Next. I would like to thank my superb team, actually, the COVID-19 team, because without them, the project would not be where it is at the moment. I would not know where the project would be without all their work, their help, and their service lah. Each and every one of them I appreciate the most, and I cannot thank them enough. Uh, if you're any of you are watching this, thank you. Many hearts to all of them, including as well Dr. Rapea and Dr. Asma, my postdoc. Uh, Also, not forgetting, this is a bit awkward to say because she's at the side of me here, but I would also like to thank what is this? Kak Shikin and Encik Mak Noor of the molecular immunology lab. They're basically at the side of me here. Uh, I would also like to thank Kak Yus and Kak Ida of the culture lab. Uh, Basically, these people melayan je lah karena saya kan. Uh, I would also like to thank Kak Azita for being a blood collector for me. I would like to thank all my respondents, all my participants in this subject. What is that? Uh, yes, basically that. Also, not forgetting, I would like to thank my family. Yay! So that is my mother next to me, my brother, and my sister-in-law. For basically, I'd like to thank them for being my backbone, my support system throughout this whole journey of mine. And I don't know where I'll be without them lah. So thank you so much. Yes, that is it. Also, thank you to all postgraduate students as well lah, for being very, very kind, very, very understanding to me, for talking to me as well. Yes, basically that is it. Thank you from my side. I leave
Darren,
this picture lah. Yes.
I think you should repeat this your thank you again when you already finish your study. Don't
Oh,
forget
very,
that.
very, very much.
You have
I
to
will.
repeat it back.
Can, no worries. It is in my kit. Don't worry.
Anyway, Darren, we are so lucky to have you this afternoon, and we believe that this session is interesting. We found it interesting, and it's a good idea to not just sharing about your study itself, but of course, it's good to know one of it's good to know at least one of us in this session. You have your introduction from your baby and how you can come here and get joined to the COVID project. It's a good thing. At least we know who is actually Darren Sakir's
Darren,
Darren
Shakil, Sasikaran.
Shakir Sasikaran. Yes, correct. It's a good thing. And then you make a initiative to have that quiz, which I found out that it's also um to lighten up our session for this afternoon. It's a good thing to do. So again, thank you, Darren, for this session. We hope to see you guys again with
Uh,
more audience, with more friends to join us in this high PG mates.
Thank
Next
you.
session will be in August, inshallah. We hope that to see you guys again. Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you.
with that, I end my session today with wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Thank you, Darren. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.